Right, we're going to try and do this in one whole take, and so it's going to test my abilities here. But there's a lot of things going on right now, and a lot of people that... I just heard it on the news today, right? Listen to this. The pound is at its lowest value than it's been in the last 20 years. My immediate thought process was, what did you expect? Obviously we're at this point, right? Why is it a surprise? And then they went on to say, so things like buying an iPhone will be more expensive. There's no wonder people in the retail environment, in the public, are dumbed down by the information, or don't see the information coming, right? Don't see this type of news coming. Because everywhere it's reported is all like retail facing, right? They're talking about your iPhone. Yes, but it's not just the iPhone, right? It's everything. Everything's going to be more expensive. So why is this a surprise when we've printed so much money? And it just goes to show how little financial education there is everywhere. If you don't get into it, if you don't start enjoying that type of content on YouTube or whatever, or your family haven't taught you, you're never going to get that. You're never going to get that education. And so you're never going to see these things coming. And so this potentially is probably a pretty risky video to make, conspiracy wise, because it's going to use a few words that could get me banned here on YouTube. But once you get into the fact that everything could be kind of orchestrated, I'm not saying it is, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing an opinion somebody may have based on the things that have happened, right? But if we needed a big financial switch, or first of all, why would we need a big financial switch? Well, you need to increase that 1%. You need to increase the amount of people in that 1%. You need to make the rich richer. That could be a reason for all of this I'm about to say. But let's say there is a world where we know that the system we have is bound to fail, okay? As in the financial system. We know this paper money that is backed by debt, we know that's not going to work, because actually the gold standard was a really good thing. So we know it's not going to work, and we have two options. And when I say we, I mean I am like the powers at be. We have two options here. We either let it happen randomly and we have no control over it, or we force the economy into a certain position so we can control the narrative. And that's the side I'm going to explore. So let's explore that. So let's say I'm controlling the narrative. If I know it's going to collapse, what kind of event would make the whole market crash? Well, we would need to would need to create hyperinflation, right? How can we create hyperinflation? Well, we can shut down business. There's a whole myriad of things we could do. But actually, I heard about this chemical. They've created this thing in a lab. We could maybe use that. You see where I'm going with this? We could maybe use that and force a lockdown. We create this narrative that it's the most dangerous thing in the world, when even though the flu is actually considerably worse, and actually even more so, just being overweight and the heart diseases that come with that actually kill more people than this thing we're going to do. But we're going to control the narrative so that it makes people fear what's happening. We need to increase the amount of reliance that the people have on the government. So we're going to have a lockdown for everyone's safety. We're going to print money. We're going to watch a financial collapse. And that's our opportunity to switch the financial system around, make the rich richer, convert to a whole new system, and in the whole process, make ourselves look like the heroes. And even more than that, we're going to introduce CBDCs. And those CBDCs are going to allow us even more view of what the public are doing, but we're going to do it for the public good. Remember, we control the narrative, and eventually we have this whole one world currency system that we've orchestrated from the beginning. We've changed the narrative. We've changed the whole financial system by controlling the narrative, and in the end, we're the heroes and we have sight of everything. To me, that's a genius plan. That's the type of 10, 15, 20 year plan that that people have, and this has been proven before. And again, I'm getting into stuff that's probably going to get this video banned, or maybe my channel banned, but it's been noted that there's a country beginning with R, I'll say that, and they're in the news a lot recently. They've had people integrating into society in the US, in the UK, creating as little as like Facebook groups about a certain agenda and topic to create polarization. And this isn't, I'm not making this up, this isn't like a conspiracy. This is actually a thing that has happened. And when interviewing these like spies or these infiltrators, they said, yes, it's part of Russia's like 30-year plan. 30-year plan. Like plans like this that last 30 years to slowly integrate and change the narrative within the public, those actually happen. Those are real things. So do you think that because Russia and China have, oh, I said the word, because they have those sort of plans in place to take over the whole world, kind of the 30-year plans, do you think the US don't have one? Do you not think that what's happening right now is part of that plan, if there were one? It's real interesting. And so the things I want to talk about here really are, we have to understand there's a whole side to this that can get quite out of control quite quickly. And really, we're just trying to take advantage financially of this whole switch because it's happening, right? We can't actually stop this from happening. You can't just like stop supporting banks and then they're going to go, oh no, we can't do this anymore. The plan is all foiled. That's not how it works. They're going to win. So you might as well do your best to get the most out of the situation and see where the future takes us. That's my stance on it. So I said I wasn't going to revisit conspiracies, but here we are, the next video, revisiting those. In the next few videos, I want to get into Flare and Ripple as a bank, because I do see the ideal situation moving forward for us being a combination of cold storage wallets, custodianship that is solid, like PolySign, Ripple as a bank, and how Flare might integrate to provide the interest. This is all in my thoughts right now, potentially for the next video. So if you're interested in that and you're like where this channel is going or whatever, then please consider hitting subscribe. There's a membership here as well that you can join to get access to a Discord. And really just follow all the social medias, keep on top of things, watch this price continue to go sideways and then up, sideways and then up. It's interesting moves, but I just want people to have at least reserved in their mind that there is this bigger narrative going on in the world. And the most important thing you can do for yourself financially is to learn about how money works. I'm actually saying this now for everyone. Go to the Bank of England website, or any large entity like that. Read the whole website. Every single time you come across an acronym that you don't understand or a word you don't understand, search it and learn that word. Then go back, start reading it again. If you can read through all of the Bank of England's website, your understanding of finance it'll blow your mind how much you'll understand at that point. Then when news comes out trying to spread FUD, fear, uncertainty and doubt, you don't get bothered by it, because it doesn't make a difference, because you actually know what's happening. You know what these companies are doing. And so that's the single most powerful thing you can do to get yourself up to date on all of this stuff. If you want to buy XRP or XLM or any other crypto, there are 3 links in the description. There may be 4 depending on when you're watching this, but there are links in the description of my trusted locations. These work worldwide, so you don't have to just be from the UK to buy those. It can be anywhere. And also, if you don't have a cold storage wallet, come on, get your act together. Get yourself a cold storage wallet. There's a link in the description as well. I use the Ledger Nano X, and I pair that with a Billfodl. That's like a metal case to store your seed phrases. So do all of that, please, because the time is coming. What's the place? Crypto.com has actually started limiting the amount of XRP you can buy. Alarm bells. I've been saying this is coming. The exchanges are going to stop limiting you. Start limiting until there's naturally, you can't buy anymore. And the worst case scenario is that you can't actually sell. that would be bad, right? Because they ultimately control your keys. That would be really bad. That's why having a cold storage wallet is of utmost importance. Anyway, I'm late for work, so I've got to get going. Stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.